All right, we should be live. Welcome to Talking Investing with Tom and George. How's it going, George?
I don't know yet. I'm still deciding. I don't know if it's the turkey.
Too soon to tell?
Too soon to tell. I have, what is it? Repressed jubilation.
Eric, good evening from the Netherlands. Welcome.
It must be because we're Dutch. I'm not. My wife is, though.
Your wife?
I'm married to... Did you know that?
Never really thought about it.
Yeah, her grandfather's right off the boat.
Oh, really?
Yep. Dutch is that only, or Dutch, Holland, they got like, what, 5 different names?
It's all very confusing.
Isn't it?
Isn't it part of that region below sea level, or am I thinking of the wrong place? Eric, am I wrong? Am I thinking of the wrong place? Hey, Alex, welcome. Welcome aboard.
Oh, you got a faster... Hey, guy. You got a faster internet than mine. Mine's delayed.
That's an outrage.
So
let's post the poll right away, and then we'll just see if people join us.
I'm taking over. I'm taking over.
This is a George recommended poll. We don't know if it's going to be... It's a half day today, and yesterday was a holiday, so we're not sure who's going to show up for the live stream, but we're going anyway. So I'm going to start the poll right now, and then we'll just keep reminding people that it's out there. Today's poll is about XRP. We've got a lot of big predictions out there, so we're going to say, where is XRP headed in the next 1 year? So a year from today, and your choices are going to be $1, $5, $10, or to the moon. So if you think it's going down, I guess you don't get a vote.
In the next year?
If you think it's going down in the next year, George doesn't want to hear about it. So,
oh no! There's a very good likelihood that it's going down.
Oh, we should put another. We should.
I told you. Well, I don't think it's going to last
today.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to last though. I don't think it will be there 1 year from today. But I do believe that it will go down. Does that make sense? I believe there's a takeout coming, and I think it's... Remember, you guys, don't forget, there's one thing I've always said, is that crypto, the whole market, is going to 500 billion. And I said that at, I don't know, 3.5. I haven't even changed my mind on that yet.
No, you said one. You said one.
Right.
And then when it got to 1, you're like, nope, that's not enough pain. It's going to go down to 500.
It's going to 500.
But you said 1 at 3 trillion.
3 trillion. And it's just so sad because, you know, that's why I kept saying it's a failed project. Sorry.
Hello, Gorilla. Well, failed has
failing
finality to it. Right. That's, I mean, it's certainly not thriving at the moment. That's for sure.
Right. So I'm going to vote.
You're going to vote? All right.
I'm deciding what I'm voting.
So everybody, if you just joined us, we do have a poll up. Today's poll is brought to you by George. It's an XRP poll. We want to know where you think XRP is going over the 1 year from today. And also, if you're here...
I'm hoping for 10, just so you know.
Oh, come on now. Where's my... All right. Yeah, everybody, please remember to smash the like button if you would be so kind.
You know, I'm going to see that. I want to see if that really is the case.
You're going to see if what's the case?
If we get to 100 again. We've gotten to 100 like 6 or 7 times.
Oh, today's a bad day to try and figure that out because
oh, dude, we always get to 100. It doesn't matter. People are sitting trying to buy stuff.
Hey, Darren.
In line. They're like,
Friday.
Oh, my wife's killing me. I need to escape this misery. Hey, Tom and George are on.
Hey, QWERTY. That's how I'm pronouncing that because that's the only way I can do it. Unless you give me phonetics on that one. But hello, welcome. Welcome aboard. How'd everybody do trading today? Or holding, or buying, or selling? It was a pretty sideways day. Very calm, low volume, calm Friday. I think everybody's out shopping. So, wasn't much going on. I didn't see any big story today in the stock market.
Just Sam Friedman's going.
Hey, Martin,
does that make
how are
anybody else mad about that thing on Monday? This is big conference that's put on by
it's the New York Times, I
yeah,
think.
I know, but it's like still ridiculous.
Yeah, that doesn't.
You know?
Well, what do you expect?
Fair and just. That's what I expect.
Thomas says Mara is still slipping. Yes. Mara was down another 4%. It still has not gotten back to its lows from this summer. It's unbelievable. Riot's back above its lows from this summer, and Mara's above its lows from this summer. I think that's it. Let's see. I don't hold XRP, afraid the lawsuit will keep dragging on for years. Well, I mean, that's fair. It's been dragging on for years, and I personally thought it would be over by now. So this has gone on longer than I expected.
Did you know that there's only, in the world, there's only 100,000 people that hold XRP? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
George fact. Can you guys see the George icon?
No, I haven't seen it.
Is there a delay from after I press this? How long?
Oh, what? We're delayed on on stream, so it's like 30 seconds.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to anticipate it in the future.
There you go.
George alert.
I love it.
We'll leave it.
And yeah, I think the comments aren't delayed, but I think the stream is delayed. Did you know that? I don't know. Maybe it's the other way around. Who knows?
It's all very confusing. All right, QWERTY. It sounds like I got that correct. Thank you. Eric said sold some.
Isn't that the keyboard?
And bought some Riot.
On a calculator? Isn't it like a quirky calculator or something like that?
I don't know.
Is this like you set it up a certain way? I don't know. I've seen that before.
It's a certain type of keyboard.
So, Tom, what happened on the 23rd to Bitcoin? I'm just real curious, so everybody can start ripping on me now.
What was that? The full moon?
Oh,
the half moon? The new moon?
No, the new moon.
The new moon. Did we?
I was so funny when you guys, because we did the members only. And I said, just wait for it, guys, and then straight up.
New moon. We had our bump on the new moon. Let's go to the 1 day.
Marathon has only mined 1 block total in the last 3 days.
Yeah, they're you know that it's funny because it's on again, off again. They had a good 3-4 days, then they had a bad 3-4 days. I don't know if luck is dictating that or if they're turning machines on and off, but altogether they are way down from October. So October, they were dead nails in October, and you know it looked like, hey, maybe they're doing their thing now, but November they are not doing their thing. Yeah, so see, we had a nice 2-day big pump. So this was the new moon, George.
Someone,
yeah, there you
Martin,
go.
Gobble gobble, Martin, thank you. Gobble gobble, gobble gobble. So what do you think the future holds right now for Bitcoin, Tom? I'm going to give you my prediction. You give me yours, or I'll tell you mine first if you want to. I don't care.
My short-term, long-term, medium-term?
Short-term, okay. So the next 6 months, 3 to 6 months.
All right.
First 3 months, then 6 months. Do you think we're at the bottom? Do you think we've already hit the bottom? Think we're going back down?
I think this is now a trick question, and I'll tell you why I say that. So I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen, but if there's another shoe that drops, if you will, if we have, and I can think of 2 or 3, So I'm going to say a couple, and these are just examples. I'm not saying these things are going to happen. Suppose, let's say, Binance went under, or Tether lost its peg. Things of this nature that turn into short-term catastrophes, I think could push us down just like this last thing did. This was the FTX move. So that pushed us to a new low where I thought we were not going. This low held for 5 months. That was my low at 17.5. That held for 5 months. The FTX thing pushed us below that. We ran back up and stabilized, and then the Genesis thing happened, and that pushed us right back down and retested the lows. So, the Genesis thing turned out, we don't think there's much contagion there. It's not affecting Grayscale the way people thought or maybe were worried about. So we gravitated right back to, we've been at around 16, we're at about 16,500, but we've been at about 16,600 plus or minus for like a week now. So could we hit another new low in the middle? I think we could if something gigantic happens. However, I am sticking to my story. I think this is the window for a relief rally.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you there. I think we're in a relief. Now, how long do you think a relief rally will last?
I think that we get CPI data on December 13th, and we get the Fed on December 14th. And it's interesting, people are losing confidence. After the Fed came out, and then after the minutes came out, we got as high as 85% chance at 50 basis points.
Really?
That is now down. Then it went down to 80. Then it went down to 75. Now it's down to 71% today. So I'm very surprised. I thought everybody bought into the 50 basis point thing. So I've been saying all along, I think there's a bigger chance, 75 basis points. I don't know why they would stop now because there is no meeting in January. That's the main reason I think that. But they've kind of been hinting that, well, we're going to slow down. We may end up doing even more than we said we were going to do in total, but we're going to slow down a little bit. Seems to be the message that's coming out of there. So, just as I started to believe in 50 basis points, everybody else is. So that's going to be our next poll.
Does that affect anything?
Here's the thing. If it's 50, if we get a CPI number that's good or great, just not bad. We just need an okay CPI number enough to give the Fed cover to do 50 basis points. If they do 50 basis points in December, then I think the rally continues. That's how we can get back up to the 25,000 and maybe beyond. Of course, that all could go the other way.
Okay, so you ready for me?
I'm ready.
I think that there's going to be a big push down right around the time that they all meet in Congress. The 8th.
The 8th of December?
Yep.
So you think we got just
I think there's some crazy stuff
week and a half.
Right that. Yeah.
And then it's
I think I'll get back out for a little while. Not XRP, but I think everything. I think this is just a short-term little rally.
Super short.
I think it should. Yeah, I don't think this is. There's just too many logs on the fire right now, or we should say bombs on the fire, and we don't know which one's gonna pop next.
Well,
one's gonna pop, one's gonna go boom, and it's gonna just have another little slide.
We've gotten our fair share of whammies this year. Let's
Whammy.
just say that.
Yeah. There we go. This is. What is it? What was it?
No whammies. No whammies.
What
Big
was that called back? No whammies. What's the name of that show?
I can't remember.
Double whammy. No, double dare, or I don't know. It's something like that. But I think that's going to be.
Must be old enough to remember what we're talking about.
That's going to be a serious issue, Tom. Because no, again, I think it's just FUD, personally. But there's just so many crazy stuff going on, and we got a problem with these miners at this price. And when will it change?
Well, there's several miners that this is not good news for. Yeah, I mean, no, there's no miner that's happy we're at 16,500. Let's put it that way. There's still a few that are positive cash flow, but there's a bunch that aren't. And obviously, this is not sustainable at the current worldwide hash rate difficulty level. Bitcoin at this price is just something's got to give. So I don't know which is going to give, but something's got to give. This status quo is not
so
sustainable.
How many Bitcoin do the miners hold? And who's going to need to sell these because they need cash? Are there any?
Almost all of the miners. Hut 8 still has all their Bitcoin. They've hodled for the last 2 years straight, and they're not selling any. Marathon has hodled for the last 2 years straight. I am not as confident that they won't sell any because they pledged their Bitcoin against a short-term line of credit. So it may be out of their control. They may not want to sell any, but that could get called.
So here's the thing I don't understand. This will go on Sue. So I believe, remember how we were always talking that they're so smart, they knew something was coming. There's only one reason I disagree with that statement. You know why that is?
Hut 8?
Yep. You want to know why that is?
Because they held their Bitcoin.
You got it. If they would have sold their Bitcoin, they would be my heroes.
If they would have sold it at 60.
Yeah, if they would have sold it at 60.
Yeah, but what if they sell those same Bitcoin at 150?
150?
Right.
What do you mean? Oh, you can always buy them back.
No, I'm saying... No. Oh, you're saying, wow, they're not in the business of buying and selling Bitcoin. That's one thing they pride themselves on. They mine. They're 100% of their hodling is self-mined. They've never bought a Bitcoin. And that's a part of their philosophy. But I understand your point. Obviously,
they should have had a person that was in charge of said ideas and made a lot of money.
Well, in retrospect, we all should have sold at 69,000.
Did you see how much money was the average cost of Bitcoin that Marathon bought?
They bought in January of 2021.
31,000.
Yeah, I believe it. I couldn't remember what the exact number was, but yeah, they bought. That was almost coming up on 2 years ago now. They bought like 4,800 Bitcoin or something like that.
They could have been heroes and doubled their money, and you know what I mean?
Yep.
Then they'd have enough. Look at this. Gary and Darren agree. Hang on. Somebody said something about the HUD 8 power issue. Rogan? Have you heard anything more about that?
I have not heard anything more, and Sue said she would come on the second week in December.
So my theory is it's going to be taken care of by then.
We have no inside information. All I can tell you is we're looking to talk to Sue the second week of December, so we can ask her directly at that time.
Yep.
So my guess is George is right. She'll have some type of answer for us.
There's some behind the scenes reason why I can't really get into, but I'm convinced that it's probably going to be taken care of by then because there's just too many coincidences that, you know what I mean? Oh, I can't even say the stuff. It's funny though, guys. I
will tell you, I'm not as worried about their energy problem. In fact, well, I don't want to overstate it, but at the moment, at Bitcoin 16,000, I don't think that's causing them a problem at all. And it's only one of their facilities that I think is somewhere between 20 and 25% of their exahash. And if they have to relocate and go do something else, I mean, they got some time to do that. We're at Bitcoin 16,600. It's not like we need to be at max hash rate right now, minting Bitcoin because... they're probably HUD 8. I got to go check. I can't remember. 16.6 is pretty close to break even or below for a lot of companies when you count overhead. So
Bitfarm bought theirs at 42K.
Yeah, and then they had to sell it at half that.
Oh, really? Oof.
Yeah, they did the opposite of what you're talking about.
So I think my strategy would have been a lot better, Tom. Now
The-
looking back, I'm just saying, if they would have sold what they mined that month, you know,
Oh, well, you've been saying that. So
now everybody does it.
George has been saying this since when
Day
nobody
one.
did it.
Yeah.
You were adamant that people should just mine the Bitcoin and sell it, just like they would if it was gold or whatever
Bread.
else.
Bread was my analogy.
Right, exactly.
Any commodity you harvest, it's the same.
So anybody who did that would be ahead because essentially they would have been able to dollar cost average out of Bitcoin instead of holding it all and selling it at the low, which a bunch of people had to do. Now, like Iris Energy, they've been selling since the beginning, but they really didn't even start mining any substantial Bitcoin until we were already at a very low number. So, you know, they didn't mine any $70,000 Bitcoins.
Somebody said, do you think Riot will make it? Will be here in 5 years?
In my personal opinion, I would say, yes, I have very, they're near the top of my survivors and potential survivors in a long-term crypto winter. So yes, nothing's a guarantee. So, but they and all these are high risk. You guys are looking at what happens here, but to me, of all the high risk companies, Riot's at the low end of that risk factor, in my opinion. I think they're tied for first, actually. In least likely to go out of business.
You do? You think they are?
And that doesn't mean I think they're the best company, right? There's all different ways to do these top fives. If you want to protect yourself against a company going out of business, because we're starting to get into that territory. There's companies, I mean, Core Scientific, although it has not gone out of business, if you were a shareholder and you bought, let's say you waited for it to go down 75% and you bought it $5, you still lost all your money. It's at 15 cents right now. So, whether they make it or not, the shareholders didn't make it. They lost all their money.
Well, remember too, Tom, we've been talking about that for a long time, that they have a lot of debt.
$1 billion. I mean,
yeah.
$1 billion of debt at Bitcoin 16,000. That just was not sustainable.
It's crazy. So, question. Just because we got to talk about our buddy Sam. He's not my buddy. I don't know him. I have no idea. What is it?
SBF.
I peed my pants. Sam, I peed my pants. Is everybody else upset about this guy going to New York Monday and doing the stream with New York Times? Has anybody heard about this?
Yeah, let's hear from... I'm not going to give my opinion until after we hear from the crowd. And I'm ending the first... While you guys are thinking about that, and drop us a comment on your thoughts on Sam BF attending some, I guess it's like a high society.
What's crazy is what's his name's gonna be BlackRock Fink.
Wow.
Fink's gonna be there. You know what else is funny? Vladimir Zelensky, is his first name Vladimir?
I don't remember his first name, but Zelensky's gonna be there from
yeah,
the Ukraine.
I think it is Vladimir. It just sounds like a Russian name, so Vladimir is going to be there. And who else is going to be there that was interesting? I was in shock. There were some big people.
Klitschko brothers going to be there.
Surely he will be arrested. Barry, we hope, but I doubt it.
I'm going to end the first poll because it's a runaway.
Do me a favor and please like the stream. I know I liked it. Can you like it too, please?
Yes, everybody, there's the thing. Like the stream if you'd be so kind.
So I have a question. Is there a way that the Bitcoin miners could get together and do something so it would be easier to mine or like cheaper somehow or another?
I mean, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to say the answer to that is no. Nature will take its course, though. If these guys are losing money, they're going to start underclocking their machines. Then they're going to start turning off their machines. And the worldwide hash rate is going to start going down. And when that happens, the difficulty level will start going down. And then people will start mining Bitcoin again. This equation that we're in can exist for a short period of time, but it's not sustainable. We're not going to be a year later from now. All these companies will be not all of them, but the vast majority of these companies will long since be out of business if we are in high energy, record level difficulty level for mining and record lows for Bitcoin. So if that's the equation that we're in right now. If that equation holds, it's going to put 90% of these companies out of business. And that alone is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy to lower the worldwide hash rate, because all those people, you go to business, you turn your machines off. I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. Iris Energy just turned off, I think it was 3.6 exahash of machines. They're off. They're off forever. Now, when I say forever, somebody will buy those and hook them back up and whatever, but they're done with them. They called the bank's bluff, and the bank called their bluff, and they're just giving their miners back and walking away from their debt. So those machines are already turned off. All right, poll results.
$1, I'll take it.
$1 was the by far winner. To the moon was in second place. So $1, 75% of the votes. To the moon, 15% of the votes. So that's our XRP.
To the moon. That's wow.
I mean, it's only really it's 150% up to get to $1 from here.
Let's just say, for an example, what happens if which it's impossible. I was just going to say, what happens if XRP loses their case? But it's impossible. It's really impossible to lose.
The question is, how long are they going to drag the case on? Not necessarily, in my mind, are they going to lose the case? Because I can't see a scenario. I mean, I guess all things.
So here's my question. What lasts longer, Gary Gensler or the XRP in the, him working in that space, in that role?
Yeah, true.
That's a good question. There's one. There wasn't a 10-cent. Come on, golfer. Come on, crypto golfer.
I'm just catching up right now.
I'm going to tell you what. If it goes to 10 cents, I'm going to be a really poor man, because I'm going to buy every freaking one I can. That's what I mean, but I do believe in between the run, it's going to go to, what did I say, 10 cents this morning, didn't I, Tom?
10 cents is what you're hoping.
Yeah, I am.
Gary's saying Iris listens to George.
Woohoo! You know what's funny? We should have went to these miners and said to them, hey, let's do a private conference call one time a week, and let me give you some freaking CEO advice, you bastards.
Alex is saying SPF's not going to show.
Yeah, I think he's going to show. I don't think he cares. Can I get a water with some ice? Thank you, honey.
Why did Kathy Wood buy back into Coinbase when she just sold 2 months ago at a big loss? That's a fair question. I think it's a good time. I mean, I did a Coinbase video, not financial advice, but I think now is a good time to buy in. But she did just sell out, so
that's a big loss. You okay? Ho!
All right. Darren's saying that Jason Les did another interview. Thanks, Darren.
That's a good year.
Here you go, George. Here's one for you. Darren says, this morning someone posted another Jason Les interview on Discord. That's the CEO of Riot.
Uh-huh.
That'll answer many questions. It was as good as Tom's with a bit other information.
Nice. Is that mine? Was that my video when I interviewed him?
We didn't post that one. Crypto golfer saying, oh, you may have already responded to this. I posted $1 because there wasn't a 10-cent option.
You're killing me. I'm telling you, I'm gonna go heavy into XRP, and I'm not even scared yet. Just if it does go to 10 cents, send me gifts.
Barry's asking, does Ripple settle or wait for a judgment? I think that
Oh
settles.
wait, you skipped over a good one. The AMD.
Where?
What sets the difficulty level in mining Bitcoin?
It's the amount of hash rate that's active. So essentially, and it's really not even that. It's how long the average block takes to mine. So over a 2-week period, if the average block takes less than it's supposed to take exactly 10 minutes, and no block takes 10 minutes. So if you look at the blocks, they vary drastically, but on the average, they're usually plus or minus 10 minutes. So if they're doing it a little faster than that, then they do a difficulty adjustment and make the Bitcoin mining level harder in an effort to change, 9 minutes and 30 seconds back into 10 minutes. But if it's taking 11 minutes, well, then they got to lower the difficulty level, because now they're not, because this is all set over the course of time to average 10 minutes a block. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be absolutely perfect from here until the year, I think 2140 is when the last Bitcoin should be mined if everything goes to plan. But it's surprisingly close, and this last adjustment was minuscule. There have been a few very big adjustments recently, increasing the difficulty level. So it was at all-time highs. Actually, I think it's still right now at its all-time high. The worldwide hash rate is not at its all-time high, so maybe we'll get an adjustment down next time. But right now, Kyle said,
I'm reading all these comments. It's so funny.
Hey, Tom and George, this is from Kyle. Curious to know what your thoughts are on Gareth Solway's BTC forecast to 9K and worst case mid 3K. Do you follow him? He has nailed it since all-time high on Bitcoin. I did have a whole list of people that were predicting dire numbers. So, I mean, you guys know my feeling on this. I just don't see any. I see what they're looking at, but I think they just don't. To me, I think they just don't understand what they're looking at, in my personal opinion. I think that's just dead wrong. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but Kyle, I've been saying 10 grand forever.
That's true. George has been calling 10 grand for a long time.
Yeah, this is no out of my wheelhouse. I believe there's still a lot of pain in the crypto world, and I think we need to get some new actors in there, and I think we have some, me being one of them. And we just have to get rid of the poop coins. And I think that once that all goes through, did you read that article, Tom, recently about how on exchanges, how they're counting, they're mining their own coins and they're just showing the value, and it's an arbitrary value. So I'm wondering if we've already hit 500 billion.
The thing is, there's a few big exchanges, and those values are all extremely similar. And it's really the big coins. Like, once you get out of the top 100 coins, it doesn't even affect the overall market cap of cryptocurrency. You're down to like 90. You're covered 99% of the market cap. And
after
it's probably
what, 10?
Certainly after the first 100, and there's 20,000 out there. So that means, 19,900 of them don't really matter. So some of those numbers, that's where people are getting burned. You buy the next, this is going to 100x, and you don't really know if that price is real or not, or what's going on. But if you're looking at the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum, this is the price. And yes, they can differ minutely from exchange to exchange.
I have always said that I felt crypto was a Ponzi scheme. Just so you know, everybody's starting to finally say that. I looked into it in the beginning, the first day I ever got into crypto, and I was like, dude, this is an airplane game. And I even think I mentioned the airplane game on stream at one point in time. And it's totally what it is. If it doesn't have any utility, there's no stored value except Bitcoin.
You're
We all know
you're
that.
you're talking about the 20,000 coins that there's circulation 10 trillion and the market cap 100
I'm
million.
talking Doge, Shiba.
Calling
They're
them right
shitcoin.
out.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah, I
hear you.
mean, they're not. They don't have utility. I mean, there's a chance there could get some utility.
Doge. I mean, even Elon Musk says Doge was a joke. Everybody knows that, and Shiba Inu was a joke about a joke. And you look at the circulation of those, and there's nothing that backs them other than Doge does get the Elon Musk bump every once in a while, but he has flat out said, I just think it's funny that I hope that Doge ends up being the one that happens because it's a joke and it wasn't even supposed to be anything. So that's why he likes Doge. But I don't get anywhere near Doge or Shiba Inu or other coins that have no, changing the rules all the time. Oh, we're burning coins, we're minting more coins, if the supply isn't fixed in my mind, then you've got a problem. That's just me personally.
Price target for Riot in 24-25.
That's a long ways away, but I mean, if
You know what you should? What if you did this type of a video, where if Bitcoin gets to 100, then these guys are worth this. If Bitcoin gets to 200, these guys are worth this. You know what I mean? I wonder if that would be
yes,
an interesting video.
if they do that based on what they are right now, because then you got to also take into effect, execution. Like Marathon, I don't know what Marathon's going to be worth, because I don't know if they're going to be at 4 exahash or 20 exahash. They're like they're a mystery to me. So, but stuff like Riot, Bitfarms, some of these other CleanSpark, more consistent performers, yeah, that makes sense. And I expect these. So Gary's saying Marathon soon to be mining 23 exahash. So Gary is a believer that Marathon's going to do their thing. It's just taking them longer to get where they're going. So, and I'm not a believer or not a believer. I do a monthly update on them every month, and I try to just tell it like it is. This is what happened. Like, they killed it in October, and that's what I said. But unfortunately, they are not killing it in November, so that's probably what I'll have to say, unless they have some meaningful, and that's why I like to wait for the monthly update. There could be some meaningful information in there that we don't know or I don't know, and
Did Frank mention why he sold?
Frank is still holding.
No, he sold a whole bunch. No, his stock. The French.
Oh, you're talking Fred.
Fred, sorry, Frank, Fred, yeah, at Marathon. Fred. He looks like a Frank.
I have a feeling we will never be talking to Fred.
It's funny because they all love us,
guess.
Except Marathon for some reason.
I stand by. I don't care. I'm not slamming him. I'm just,
Well, and let's be honest, he doesn't really care because he has the highest market cap out of all the miners.
He does, but it's an awful lot lower than it used to be. It's way under $1 billion. They were $7.5 billion company. Now they're a $700 million company.
90%.
Hello, Sour Melon Gaming. Welcome. Hello, Shaman.
Ooh, I'll take that one. Charmin. Is it Charmin? So XRP, which it just went live, by the way, everyone. They have a contract with every single country besides the United States. Not every single one. I'm sure there's tons of countries that didn't do it. That is they transfer money around, and they were able to settle in seconds versus how long it normally takes. And what it does is it changes the liquidity of the bank, because they have to keep X number of dollars in their reserves so they can transfer money back and forth to different countries. So when you have XRP, when you get to a stabilized value of XRP, which, I'm thinking this is 24, 25 before it really goes nuts, is that it'll be a stabilized price point, and that you can transfer this coin from, let's say for an example, we can go from here to the Netherlands, right? And the banks agree on the price of that coin, and we just transfer the coins. Immediately they have it, and then they give the money to whoever the depositor is in that case.
The
That's
banks,
why I love it. Go
the
ahead.
banks, and I'm not going to say too much because I'm going to do my deep dive this weekend, but there's a big relationship between the banks and XRP that's different than all the other coins out there. That's the only input I'm giving so far on this.
It's a real interesting thing, though. There's no other coin that does this. That's what's really cool about it. And it's, Brad, who's the CEO, he doesn't really care about the price. The big problem, and it's going to be fixed, is this lawsuit with the government, the SEC. And isn't it funny that they picked on them out of everybody? I would have picked on Ethereum, personally.
I bet at the time XRP was bigger than Ethereum.
Yeah, good bid.
I'm not positive of that, but
I would have picked on them. And then, I mean, because if you
XRP
want to know,
is still in the top 10, even after years of being in a lawsuit, and really you're not even allowed to buy them in the U.S. I'm sure lots of people do, but
I don't. I buy them in Canada.
JD
just
saying,
buy them.
I'm
Woo!
buckled in with CleanSpark and Riot. Hope they survive the winter. JD, I like your picks. I have both of them surviving whatever is ahead.
Hang on, I have to hang on. Urgent. I believe XRP is going to get beat up again. I believe XRP is going to get beat up bad. I do have a ton of it. This is not financial advice, but it's going to get beat up again bad. But I think overall in the next 4 to 5 years we'll be good. Just so you know.
You think it's going to get worse before it gets better?
I think that's
with
the case
XRP,
for all.
you think it's going to get worse before it gets better with Bitcoin. But with some of them, you think it's going to get worse, and then it's going to get even worse.
You know what? Somebody said something about Bitcoin at 3K. There is a very good real possibility that could happen. And you want to know why the guy picked 3K? You know why, Tom.
I think there's absolutely no chance of Bitcoin.
No.
going to 3K.
There's a reason why they say 3K, though. Who does it take out?
That's your buddy,
Yeah,
Michael Saylor.
They take him out. And that's the reason why that guy's saying that. It's because he thinks there is look, if it falls apart and we have a problem with Tether and then we have a problem with Binance, I don't think that 3,000 is out of the question. I think it would just bypass 10, but I don't think it'll stay there long. I don't think it'll stay there more than 48 hours.
I can't say this for a fact, but it is my very strong opinion that it's not in the realm of possibility for Bitcoin to get down to $3,000, not even on a flash crash.
Uh-oh. Remember this day.
You can
11/25/22.
mark the date and time. That's not happening. Could we have another flash crash? Are there more shoes to drop? All those things could happen. Could we set a new low at 3,000? The whole crypto world is all done if Bitcoin gets to 3,000, even for 5 minutes. But essentially, you will have taken cryptocurrency and made it no longer exist. So I believe that will not happen. There's too much ingrained adoption. You're talking about the lows from the previous halving cycle. So we've never even gotten down to the highs from the previous halving cycle. Now we're talking about getting to the lows of the previous halving cycle. That would make this the most catastrophic. That would make crypto winter look like a week in paradise. Well, that would be, I don't know what magnitude, but some 10, 50 magnitude X worse than the worst thing that's ever happened to Bitcoin if it was to get to $3,000. So that's why I don't think it's going to happen. Is it possible? Everything is always possible. So, that's all I can say about that.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
and that's all I've got to say about that. And life is like a box of chocolates.
All I know is Bitcoin still following the chart from before? Remember, you were like, it never did this. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's still so new that it can make its new chart.
The halving cycles that we followed, this was Plan B.
Can you pull this up?
Plan B?
No, or just can you pull up the halving cycle on TradingView or no?
Well, it's obvious, although
Oh.
it's on TradingView, it's too hard to tell because the
Oh, is it?
numbers have
Okay.
multiplied by so much that it just looks like a little teeny line that all looks the same 5 years ago and back. You know, from 100 to 1,000 doesn't show up on a scale to 20,000. So, but I can do. I mean, I can just pull up Plan B's thing, and it's not just his thing. This is what happened the first few times around, and it did not happen this time around. What are we doing?
You want to hear something funny?
Let's see if
While you
this
pulled
is-
that up, somebody was trying to.
Shoot. Sorry. Forgot about the actual Plan B. That's my fault.
You never use that? I use that all the time.
I don't think it's going to work on you.
No. Never mind. You'll figure it out someday. Plan B, you click on it. Somebody was actually talking about how all the money that went into crypto was all government money from the free money that was given out from the, COVID thing.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. There was massive amount of stimulus given out in the United States.
Right.
And that was definitely simultaneous with the time that Bitcoin rallied. So this is like an accurate representation. I mean, you can see we're just off plan. We're just off the plan. It did not happen. We should have been a long time ago at 100. And that's where we were supposed to plateau. And really, if you really do the math, if history were to have repeated itself, we really should have bounced up to like 300. And then we should have had our 85% pullback. So everyone's always looking for, well, it's always pulled back 85%. Yeah, but this time it didn't go up. So now it's just going to, it can't keep falling 85% if it doesn't go up. And you can see this chart makes it clear. You see these, there's a halving there, and these aren't at the halvings. These are after the halvings when ultimately they get a peak. So there was Bitcoin's peak. There was Bitcoin's peak after the halving, and then there again, and you can see this time we really just barely, we went from 20 to 60. That's a triple. One of these, this was a 70x. This is a 3x. So we're just not on the same program anymore. This chart has broken down. I don't know that it ever was accurate if you really look at it. But what was certainly true is that sometime on or about or after the halving, the price of Bitcoin skyrocketed. And you can see once we broke past the previous high, so that would be this spot right here. So if I trace it to here, once we hit that spot in the next cycle, we never went below it again. So that was true all the way up until this time around. So this time, that is not the case. We did get below this peak. We're below it right now. Right? Because Bitcoin got up to almost 20,000 back in 2017. We're below that as we speak, which means this is already the most catastrophic crypto winter that we've ever had. So to think that it's going to get, 5 or 10 times worse than this, anything is possible. I'm just not, I wouldn't plan my investment strategy around that, I guess is what I would say.
I would.
Listen, you've been calling 10, and I'm not going to be shocked if you told me we're going to flash crash to 10 and by the end of that day close at 14 or 15, I'd say, yep, that could happen. But 3, that's...
It just depends on how much downward pressure there is and who sells and what, you know what I mean? It just... Supposedly, all these exchanges, when you buy Bitcoin, they're not really buying Bitcoin. They're not going off network and buying Bitcoin. They're giving you the Bitcoin that they have in their holdings. Does that make sense?
Well, the key is, are they transferring, even if it's within their own funds, are they transferring it to, a secure trust that's set against their customers' funds, or is it all a big slush fund?
Well, we know that answer. It's a big slush fund.
Right. For the privately held companies, I fear that it's a big slush fund, and then it
They
doesn't.
got it comes out of the yacht fund. Okay, there's the yacht fund. Oh shit, we need gas. Oh, well, don't worry. No one's ever gonna audit us. Just take the money.
Barry's saying only really using 3 data points. I think he's talking about the plan B. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And there was a clear similarity the first time 3 times around. It looked like we were going to do the same thing this time. We didn't. So, I mean, that's my only point is we did not. This time the mold broke. And, like Barry's saying, there was only 3 data points to begin with. So it's not like this was some, massive trend that, it's shocking that we didn't follow. So we're off that path.
Oh, and Charmin, Tom thinks the Bitcoin low's already in. I do not. Well, he thinks
Yes.
it's in unless we have would you call that FTX thing a black swan event or no?
I'm going to say no because we've now turned black swan events into non-black. A black swan event, by definition, should happen so rarely. That's what the definition of so everything can't be a black swan event. What you can say is it's an outsized event. It's an event that's outside of standard operating procedures. It's an event that's outside of business as usual. So the Terra Luna mess was disrupted business as usual. The FTX mess disrupted business as usual. Even the Voyager mess, the same thing. So yeah, we could get another one of those. I think it's a wild exaggeration to call it a black swan event, but it's an event, whatever you want to call it. And you see, they have temporary. Let me go back to a longer scale here. Like this was FTX right here. Boom, boom. And now we're sideways. So we'll see. Do we go back up from that? I could go to the 1 week.
Boom, boom.
Bang, boom. Let's give
Boom,
this
boom,
way too
boom.
many
Let's go
lines
back
on
to
it.
my room where we can do it all night, and I can make you feel right. I said.
We don't have the copyrights to that one.
I didn't do more than 15 seconds.
Fair
That
use.
would be-
fair use.
I wonder if that would be insane if you got a copy straight for that. That would be awesome. That'd be worth it. It'd be worth it.
So it's been a rough year. This was last November. This is this November. So we're at 76% right now.
What's your feeling about next year about the economy and moving forward with Bitcoin and crypto and inflation and everything? You didn't. I'm putting him on the spot. I'll give you my
I don't have a
opinion.
warm and fuzzy feeling about the economy in the year 2023. Let's just put it that way. But I will say I have different feelings about the economy than I do about the stock market and Bitcoin in specific. So I have a different viewpoint about Bitcoin than I do about the overall cryptocurrency world as well. I think you're going to start to see some things move on their own. The first thing is we always see the market move way ahead of the economy. So the economy could still be getting worse when the market bottoms and starts getting better. That's what's happened every time we've ever had a recession. So, and I'm sorry, everybody's asking when we're going to be in a recession. We are in a recession. We've been in a recession for several quarters now. So, and it may last another several quarters or a year. But at some point before that, the market is going to bottom out, in my opinion, and turn around. And I think for Bitcoin, I think we're already there. I think we already had pain upon pain upon pain. So I don't know if that's 3 months from now or 6 months from now or whatever the case may be. But I think sooner than later, Bitcoin will begin its bull run again. And we won't recognize it for a bit because, it's hard to know if you're in a relief rally or a bull run until you get a couple of confirmations of the next legs up. So at a bare minimum, we are wildly overdue
Where would you call a bear run over 25?
Over 25%. I'm
Yeah.
looking 40%. And that's a big move, and that wouldn't be true in the equity markets, but in cryptocurrency, 35, 40%. It's not unusual. So even just a relief rally. And then obviously if we move into a bear market, or into a bull market, we've got to get, we got to get back over 30,000 before we can even say we're trending upward in the longer time frames, in my opinion.
So at 30,000 though, that's pretty safe for a lot of miners, isn't it?
Yeah, I think 30,000, all these miners are good. The question is, are they going to make it until Bitcoin gets to 30,000? And I shouldn't say all the miners. There's some miners that the debt has already run them over. So it doesn't even matter what happens. Bitcoin could go back to 30 tomorrow, and for them, the clock's up too late. So
obviously when these bankers weren't investing into Bitcoin miners, they were looking at plan B, or they were looking at, not falling down the price point to where we are today.
That's right. Every one of those loans that was given that was secured by equipment, particularly, Iris Energy managed to do a non-recourse loan where it was secured by the equipment and nothing else. So the business could just walk away from that loan. So obviously those people thought we were never going to see these numbers ever again. And if we're all really honest, I mean, I was there. You guys were all there last September, October, November. The conversation wasn't if we're going to hit 100,000. It's when we're going to hit 100,000. When are we going to hit 200,000? That's just what was going on. That was false. It was wrong. But that's what was going on. So, that's when a lot of these deals were getting made at Bitcoin 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. It got up to almost 70,000. But, your Core Scientific, you borrowed $1 billion. I mean, they were there. There's an example. They were relying on this not happening. That was a gamble, in my opinion. Some amount of debt you can absorb. $1 billion? This is a very small space for $1 billion in debt. It's not 2% debt. Usually the debt that they give to these companies is very short in duration and high in interest rates. So it's not good debt. Darren's saying, over the evolution of Bitcoin, the percentage of change after each halving cycle is supposed to change. Its volatility over time is supposed to tame down. And I agree with that. But this cycle, we didn't get... This was an outlier to the low side, even if you were to continue to reduce the trajectory. This cycle, we just didn't get... We didn't get to where we should have gotten. And that, that plan B plan kind of accounts for what you're talking about, where otherwise, obviously at some point is going to be Bitcoin... $50 million, and that's not reasonable. So, yeah, you'd expect the more mature this gets, the longer it goes on, the more halving cycles that happen. Even if there's a big rise after the halving, it will continue to be smaller as a percentage. It's easy to have, 1,000% increase when Bitcoin's trading at $5. But, at 20,000, you're talking massively different magnitude. Sean was saying, I hope Bitfarms and Cleanspark survive. They have good mining efficiency, but not good balance sheets. Yeah, and I mean, Cleanspark's balance sheet is okay. Bitfarm has a little more debt. Cleanspark's actually taken on some debt. So I don't think they have distressed balance sheets, but they do not have the balance sheets like Hut 8 and Riot that are just rock solid. So at some point, if this were to persist for a long time, there would be a point that those guys wouldn't make it to the other end, I suppose.
Tom, are you ready for Christmas?
I'm mentally and emotionally ready for Christmas. Have I bought any Christmas presents? That would be no.
Do you ever?
Yes, it's Thanksgiving was yesterday.
I'm just asking. I gotta keep the stream going. Gotta keep it lively.
Have you bought any Christmas presents? Are you ready for Christmas?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not ready.
Well, there's time left. Listen, I got Prime, so Amazon Prime. So really, I
speaking of
figure I
Amazon,
got until the 23rd of December.
Do you think Amazon's a good buy right now?
I don't.
You don't? Why not? It seems it's at a super low price right now.
It's they have lost. Amazon became the first company ever to lose $1 trillion of market cap. So that is a dubious honor. But to me, they are still. Let's go look at them. And you know, I've been calling this for. My problem is, and this is why I don't short stuff, I've been calling this for years. But it took years. So, you know, now they're under $1 billion. They're at $952 million. I'm sorry. $952 billion. They're under $1 trillion. So, you know,
they got over 2?
They were over $2 trillion. Now they're under 1. So they lost $1 trillion. And their business didn't lose $1 trillion. So that's an important distinction.
Are they profitable or no?
Oh, they make big money.
Oh, do they really?
Let me see if Yahoo's got their financials accurate or not.
How do you check how Marathon?
$33 billion in the year ended December 31st, 2021. That was their net income.
That's insane.
So, yeah, I mean, these guys make money hand over fist, but $33 billion, if you're worth $2 trillion, what's your PE ratio? It's unreasonable is the short answer. So, I'm saying even at $1 trillion, it's still unreasonable. They're saying their PE ratio is 84 right now. That's a trailing 12 months. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're still overvalued. Yeah, they're a growth company. They're a monster. And I'm not saying bad things are going to happen to Amazon. I think they dominate their own space. I don't know how anybody is ever going to catch up to them. But these valuations spiraled up to a very crazy place. And a lot of it is what you said, George. A lot of all these valuations, at the same time Bitcoin was going up and out and away, you know, in
free money.
Right. There was a lot of equities that were flying maybe a little bit too high.
Free.
Looking to buy, Shaman saying he's looking to buy some Palantir and Tesla.
Oh, hang on. We missed one. Marathon Brown. How do you check it? I think is it marapool.com?
I think I have it open.
Do you?
This is where I check it. If there's someplace else, you guys can let me know, but this seems to be accurate. So they ended the month last month. So here's the total they've mined in total in their pool. And you can see, remember, they turned their pool off for July and August, or, you know, in the middle of June till August. So it was at 0. I don't know how reliable this line is right here, but this line is just counting, you know.
Where is this? Where is this site?
Oh, this is mempool.space. I don't know why. That's where it is. But there's some other sites, and they have a similar. If you go to btc.com, for some reason they stopped acknowledging the marathon. I'm going to go there, actually, and show you. It's a weird thing they did. So we'll go, like, let's look at, do they give the block number here? 764508. No, that's not what I want to see.
Oh, wow. This is really cool. It's a cool little website. It shows who's mining, like, from where, and how they're using the network to verify. I have a question. Does anything actually run on Bitcoin and is currently being verified this way? Or is it just a stored value?
There are things that run on Bitcoin, but I mean it's very slow. It's not anything. If you require
It's
speed,
15 minutes.
yeah, you're not running on
Well, I mean 10 minutes. I guess,
block
right?
by block. So you'll see they don't show Marathon here. They used to. Now see this unknown, and Marathon's not this entire unknown. But if I were to have gone to the right place, then I could have shown you what I was talking about. So on here, come on, where are you?
Come on, Tom.
Come on. Come on, man. All right, I don't want to take you guys on a wild goose chase, but these guys do... Oh, you know what, actually?
Is Foundry, is that in Rochester?
I'm not sure if that's the one that's... No. The big, gigantic pool is not... They have turned into the biggest pool in the world.
Is that Ant Pool?
The one in Rochester is... Yeah. It's not a pool. They're like a financing company that does a lot of the financing for the Bitcoin miners.
So they've lost a lot of money.
All right, this was the long way. All right, so now I'm going to go back here. So if we go to mempool, you'll see the last block that they're saying Marathon mined was 764508. So if I go to btc.com, what was it? Short-term memory, 764508.
Is this the point where we do random numbers?
Wow, that's a lot of blocks ago. Holy cow. So see, here it says unknown. So if you're on btc.com, for some reason, they acknowledge all the other mining pools, but whenever Marathon mines a block, they just say unknown. Don't know why that is. They didn't used to do that, so I don't know if there's something personal going on there or what, because they know who it is. They're just saying unknown. So that's why I go. You should be able to tell right from here what all the pools are doing, but I go to this site instead, and this has been accurate. They were at 940 at the end of October, so that means they've mined 53 blocks so far in November. So, you know, they mined nearly 100 blocks last month. It's November 25th right now.
And it's 6.25, right?
6.25 plus a fee, so call it on the average maybe 6.4.
6.4. So you multiply that every time they get a block.
So, plus or minus, yes.
Yeah.
6.25 is the actual. Oh, so here you can see this reward was 6.4. This one was 6.58. So that's just the fee that they got on top of the 6.25 is what each block is worth as far as newly minted Bitcoin. So we know the answer. Like, it's not a mystery, but I'd like to see their press release and have them explain what happened in the month of November. Why did it go down so much? Unless they have some kind of miraculous rally in the last 6 days here. Can someone confirm our IP has 254 cash and 0 debt? I cannot confirm. Oh, Riot. Riot has no debt. Riot has no debt to speak of. They may have some insignificant $800,000 or $1 million, but yes, they raised all their money through equity. So Riot has no debt. This is what I'm saying. Riot's balance sheet is insane. So they're in my opinion, that's what makes them kind of crypto winter proof, is they did not go, they raised money, and they did it at a great time when their stock was very high. So they were able to raise that $1 billion that Core Scientific borrowed. Riot was able to raise that $1 billion in capital. And they didn't do it at $4 a share either. They did it at most of it at much, much, much higher numbers. Kevin said, hope you're both doing well. So I get Bitcoin and mining stocks, and I own like 10K in crypto, but what the H does these crypto companies actually do? Yeah. You want that one, George?
What exactly do you do here?
I work with the customer.
You mean, what does the exchange do? Or what does crypto do?
I mean, this is where it gets confusing between companies and coins, exchanges. There's some exchanges that have their own token.
Tokens, coins.
You've got some companies that have their own coin or token. You've got like Bitcoin. There is no company behind Bitcoin. It's just it's a blockchain. So, unlike, XRP, there's Ripple. And what these guys do, that's a good question.
I don't know. That's the only reason why I like XRP and Bitcoin, is I know what they do.
Darren is saying Marathon's execution is just absolutely garbage, and then dumpster fire. So,
yeah,
that's Darren. That's Darren's opinion.
Darren.
Kevin, you're welcome.
Hey, Greg.
Moon Boots. Hey, how are you?
That is an interesting one.
Doing good.
Do you know that crypto could solve the world hunger problem?
World hunger you've got us solving now?
If we weren't greedy, I mean, look at all the billions that just got ripped away from people. There was a guy, I forgot who it was.
That should be our new mission then.
No, it is. It's one of the ways to solve world hunger is by...
George and I are working on something. It's not necessarily going to solve world hunger, but we hope that it's going to help feed some people that need food.
Yeah, we think that as bad as it is in going to be in, I'll say, like the first world countries. Can you say that? So like Netherlands, Australia, Canada, us, England, the UK, right? The UK.
Etc. The European Union.
Wait, we're worried, personally, we're worried about Europe. We think that this is going to be a hell of a winter for Europe. And that people don't even realize how bad it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be bad. I believe they're closing all their restaurants during this winter. They're going to have to close them during like the really cold time. And I mean, what do you do? How do you do that? I mean, they're going to have to close down factories. They're going to have to close down office buildings. And this isn't me saying this. This is them saying it. I'm just telling you what they're saying.
I've seen it. There's an energy crisis right now over there that they are scrambling to try to solve, and those are some short-term solutions. The first thing they got to do is get through this winter. So if they got to do some, unusual things, got to get through the winter. And then hopefully by next summer, there's a better plan going into the following year, because the world's energy plan right now isn't exactly working out as they hoped it would.
So I'm greedy too, but what's funny is I'm greedy and I work hard, it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily greedy. I just work hard and work smart. I don't think that really makes you greedy.
Well, then you're not greedy.
Yeah, but no, I don't. What's greed? I mean, greed is you see $10 on the floor and you grab it and you don't go give it back to anybody else.
No, greed
You know
is
what I mean?
you see somebody with $10 and you take it from them.
Right. I'm not that way. I'd rather have them let them have the $10.
You guys should have the George alert by now. Is it up?
Why? What?
On the screen?
Yeah, it's up. Why? Why is it up?
Because you were talking, so it was time for the
Oh,
George
who
alert.
is the most? Who's gonna mine the most coins in November from Gary?
Who is going to mine the most coins in November? Ooh. Well, it's still going to be, so we'll answer this two ways. Number one, it's still going to be Core Scientific. They're still mining coins. They're going to mine by far the most coins, not even close. But who's going to come in second is a very good question because you've got CleanSpark. In my mind, you've got CleanSpark and Riot vying for that. Bitfarms was able to hold on to second place for, I think, 3 months in a row, and they're still doing great from a mining standpoint. It's just that some other companies have ramped up even further than that, so I think it's between Riot and I bet you, I just get this weird feeling CleanSpark's going to come in second in the month of November. And then Riot, and then Bitfarms, and then Marathon. That's my guess. We're writing that down. What did we just? Obviously, Core is first, despite the fact that their stock's basically zero. And then we're gonna say CleanSpark, and then Riot, and then Bitfarms, and then Marathon. That's my top. That's what I think the top 5 are going to be for the month of November. It's on record. We'll have to scope that out and see how I did. What do you guys think? Who's going to mine the most in November?
It's definitely Core.
Wim said everything is okay in Belgium with energy.
Yeah.
A little bit expensive, but
No showers. Here's what people don't understand. That's at this price point. I don't believe this is going to be the price point that gets us through the winter. I believe that the price point is going to
you're saying in oil and natural gas,
yes,
the price
yes,
points, the price
yes.
is going to skyrocket.
Before this current administration in the United States, natural gas was what, $1.35, and now it's got as high as $10. I think it's like 6 something right now.
Barry is saying Europe has bought the gas it needs. They will be fine. I'd be more worried about no diesel, no trucks running, no deliveries. So that's definitely its own big problem. I don't understand how we got there, but there's a diesel situation going on at the moment.
And what's really interesting is how much oil is down. What's really sad, Tom, is how much the price of oil is down, but the price is still up.
The price is up versus, 2 years ago, but it's down versus 2 months ago. And we don't know. It's gone up and down and up and down. I'll tell you, the energy stocks were still pretty good. I don't know how they did today. What's ExxonMobil?
Look at that. Natural gas is $7 per gallon, I guess it is, or per therm. I don't know how they're giving you the measurement.
See, ExxonMobil's still at $113, even though crude's at 76. So I don't know what's going on there. Because put it in perspective, ExxonMobil's 52-week range, $114 is their 52-week high. So they're, for all intents and purposes, they're at their 52-week high right now with crude at $76. So I don't know if that's a tell that, there's what George is saying, that the price of oil is about to go up, or what that means. Kevin, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
What's a unicorn? Trying to tell us something?
Gary's saying, good guess, Tom, on the order. Riot 6.9 should on exahash with Marathon 7.0 not mining. All right. That always confuses me, but thank you. That is the notification that Kevin.
Who do you think has destroyed crypto the most? And I'm actually going to tell you a different person. Crypto, not just Bitcoin. Crypto.
Like what individual on the face of this
Yes.
earth?
Yes.
All right, Kevin. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Kevin. Who do you think it is? You want to know who I think it is?
Let's hear your answer.
This is just a crazy one. And what I mean by crypto is no one mines crypto anymore, right? Is there any place to really mine crypto besides Bitcoin?
All right.
You lose money.
Nowhere. Yeah, there's nowhere near the once Ethereum went away, all the proof of work is much less profitable than Bit.
What's that guy's name? The guy
with
Vitaly
Buterin.
Yes, him. By him changing Ethereum, man, you're just on a roll.
Kevin. Kevin is the champion.
I guess he agrees with my statement. So you understand what I'm saying? Because of that whole thing.
Because of the switch from proof of work to proof of stake, he basically undermined like the million people that were mining Bitcoin.
Yep.
Sorry, Ethereum.
Ethereum.
And now there's GPUs laying around everywhere that are not worth anything anymore because there's nothing they can really mine that's profitable.
Did you see the Tesla that caught on fire? Somebody came in California. Somebody drove over to somebody's house, and they just got out, and their Tesla caught on fire.
Oh, you're going to like this one. You're going to like Gary's answer to your question. Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking like crypto in general. That's such, I don't know. That's a really tough one. Well, Sam Bankman-Fried's got to be on the list now of top 10. He certainly didn't help. Who else? You know, it's funny. Elon Musk is on both sides of this ledger. Sometimes he's the biggest help to the crypto world, and sometimes for Bitcoin in particular, like he did a rug pull on Bitcoin. I like some stuff that he does, but I will just tell you, I'm not over the fact that he just absolutely, he rug pulled Bitcoin, and we have not recovered since then. He was the catalyst to get Bitcoin over 40,000, and he was the catalyst to get it back under 40,000. And now, unfortunately, I think he does not have, because so many other things have happened, I think a tweet from Elon Musk doesn't do what it used to do, but the damage is already done. So, Kevin's saying, you guys and audience are great people. Thank you so much for all the great memories. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. And you're right. We have, George and I will tell you, we've had a couple of conversations this week. We want to thank all you guys. Well, we feel like we have the best subscribers of any channel on YouTube. Like, we have the smartest, most sophisticated, most dedicated, best subscribers out there, and I appreciate it, and that's why these live streams can be so lively and interactive.
What about Peter? Isn't it Adam Schiff? Who's Peter Schiff?
Oh, Peter, he's the never-ending naysayer to cryptocurrency, so he's definitely in the top, probably top 3. That's a good one.
When do you think they're going to all change their opinion?
When it's too late. When they, I think they're going to change their opinion when they bought all their Bitcoin.
Oh, really?
That would be my guess.
Right.
Barry said, LOL, Peter Schiff is a blessing to the crypto industry. I mean, he is the ultimate bear.
Is that any relation to Adam?
I don't believe so. Peter Schiff is a gold bug. Jamie Dimon. Yeah, well, that's a good answer too, Brandon, because Jamie Dimon for the longest time was just saying Bitcoin is garbage, cryptocurrency is nonsense. How about Charlie Munger and your buddy Warren Buffett?
Oh,
They
yeah.
They
He's
are
always
not
bitching.
Yeah, they hate. They're haters.
They are haters.
Moonboot said, I have you guys on the TV in the living room and the whole family's eating pumpkin pie and watching. Awesome.
Well, thank you.
That sounds awesome. I didn't have see
You
I
didn't have any
opted for
pumpkin pie.
I opted for apple pie and I didn't get around to the pumpkin pie, so
Hi, Moon family. Enjoy the pie. Very. You know, I think that's true with our stream, by the way. Is that it's very, calm and collect.
yeah, we have great people on the stream. This is not just a bunch of people shouting out nonsense and hate and all the other.
Well, I mean, besides me. I do the nonsense.
And some amount of nonsense is always appreciated.
I think you got to do nonsense.
All right, so here's a couple I'll throw out there just as some parting thoughts. So this guy is a PhD candidate at Harvard, and he thinks all the central banks should be buying Bitcoin. And his line of reasoning is it's a hedge against sanctions. So, if the UN gets mad at you for whatever reason and you're a sovereign nation, if you have some Bitcoin, that's a hedge against them, putting pressure on you. So that's this guy from Harvard. So that and $5 will get you a Starbucks. I think. Probably more than $5 now. So that came out. I think this was today. Then this is random news by Tom and George. El Salvador, El Salvador proposes digital securities bill paves the way for Bitcoin bonds. They want to do $1 billion of bonds. El Salvador's Bitcoin-backed volcano bonds, and I think they use volcanic activity. Is that their source of power? Is that the situation? Are expected to raise $1 billion for the government. So they're trying to raise $1 billion backed by Bitcoin. And last but not least, my favorite, Kathy Wood still sees Bitcoin hitting $1 million by 2030. What do you think of that one, George? This was,
I
she
don't think it'll hit
just
$1
said
million.
this 2 days
I know.
ago.
Well, and I mean, her fund has not done too good.
No, she has a super aggressive high growth fund, so she's gotten wrecked in the last year.
Is anybody really listening to what she's saying? I mean, I'm not trying to be rude at all. I mean, some of the things that she's saying is.
I think you lose some credibility when your fund is down
Tesla. Well,
massively.
Tesla. She's like, remember she was like Tesla's going to 1800.
Yeah, she's got Tesla going. Yeah, she still thinks. Yeah, she's got Tesla going to a multi-billion dollar. I'm sorry, $1 trillion market cap.
I just don't believe that will happen.
Hey, Jeff, thanks. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Alex is saying, do I think Tesla's going to be a multi-trillion dollar company? I do not. Tesla, and I don't want to be accused of a Tesla. I've been both accused of being a Tesla hater and a Tesla lover, and depends what video I put out. People want to interpret it however they want. I think Tesla makes money. They're making even more money now than ever, but their valuation, again, just like Amazon, I'm not getting to their valuation. So I feel like it's a company that's going to continue to succeed, but I can't see them, 5Xing from where they are right now. That would put them, they're down to just a little over $500 billion, I think. So, that would give them to $2.5 trillion would be a 5x. For me, I don't think that's going to happen. But listen, maybe there's going to be robots and self-driving cars and flying cars and time machines. I don't know. I'm not currently invested, nor have I ever been in Tesla. Never shorted it, just never invested. Alex is saying Marathon will be out of business or need to sell their hodl. So I think that's right, Alex. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. They're at like the brink right now. I think they already had to contribute more to secure that line of credit. They had to add to their, I think they now have 1,900 Bitcoin that are not secured by the line of credit. So, depending on where, if Bitcoin just has one more bounce down, that's going to cause the rest of their Bitcoin to be in there. And then at some point, they're going to have to start liquidating Bitcoin. So I agree. I think they'd be better off to get rid of their Bitcoin and get rid of that $100 million, because these people and they just borrowed $50 million in October and secured it with their Bitcoin. So to me, that is a move that I cannot understand. It doesn't make any sense. If I was them, as awful as it sounds, I would take it on the chin and get out of that $100 million. They raised $700 or $800 million at 1% interest, not due until 2026. And then they went and did like the polar opposite of that and put all their assets at risk for $100 million. Moonboot says Kathy likes saying absurd things just to make a headline. Well, that is true. She does like to make her way to the headlines. Wim saying, see you next week, boys. All right,
yeah.
Thanks for being here. Hope that Tom makes a new video for CleanSpark. I'm patiently waiting for them to put their financial statements out. Almost all the Bitcoin miners have put out I'm calling them their Q3 financials, but really it's a different quarter depending on what their fiscal year is. But their September 30th financial statements, most of the companies we talk about have put their financial statements out. CleanSpark is the biggest one that I'm still waiting for, because I want to do my comparison across all the companies, but I can't do it without CleanSpark. So they got to do that. And then I will certainly make a video when they put out their quarterlies and when they put out their monthly report, because remember, I have them coming in second place in the month of November as far as Bitcoin mined. So we're going to have to see if they prove me right or wrong. Mike, hey Mike, welcome. Gary saying, do you think anyone besides Marathon curtailed mining in November? I think that's what's fascinating about these monthly operational updates. And I'm glad that really the entire industry has adopted this policy. So, you can't get away without doing one. So you get to see what happens. So there could be some surprises in there. There could be some lower numbers than we think. I don't think CleanSpark did any curtailment, and that's why I'm guessing they're going to come in second. I think Riot probably was not 100% full going for the month. They have formulas where they get paid for some of their energy potentially, and at Bitcoin 16,000, that may be more profitable for them for a period of time. So, yeah, I expect to see some lower than you would think numbers. And certainly out of Marathon. I mean, Marathon should have been doing 750 or 800 this month, and it looks like they're going to be lucky if they get 500. Alex is saying, does PhD explain? I don't know what he's saying, but FTX Knox. I'm not able. Can you interpret that, George? That needs a George interpretation.
What?
Alex is saying, I like her fund. The ARK K fund stock is still great for swing trading. I do too, Alex. I like the ARK K fund. I have been waiting for my moment. There's a ETF that's 2x the ARK K fund. And I'm waiting. If that thing gets down to 9, I'm buying it, because I do think in the end, you know, Kathy Wood plays a longer term game, and she looks really bad right now. But the first thing is, you're right. If you're a swing trader, there are ups and downs in that is awesome. And ultimately, I do think that's going to take off. It could take, you know, that could take 3 years for all I know. I don't know. I don't reply to clowns. Said Tom is my favorite Floridian Republican. You don't know that for a fact. I've never.
Oh, so Brown's asking, and I will agree. How do you check the pool in that meet? I couldn't figure it out either. By the way.
You want me to go to the exact address?
Yeah, I couldn't figure. I'm not that smart.
So you guys should be able to see this on the screen. It's mempool.space.
But where do you go once you're there?
No, /mining /pool /Marapool, M-A-R-A pool. So if you look on your screen, you'll see the full, I think you guys can see this. Can you see this, or is it not on the screen? Maybe it's cut off. I bet it's cut off. So that's what it is. mempool.space /mining /pool /Marapool. Hopefully that gets you guys there.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't figure out.
Alex, Mara, average Bitcoin at 31K. If they sell, they will have a shortfall to cover their collateral on the loan. I mean, that's not a good spot to be in. I just don't know how they did that to themselves. They're as of their June 30th financial statements, none of their Bitcoin was restricted. Now, basically all of it's restricted. So something moved in the wrong direction in that period of time. Let's just say that. Mike is saying Mara are mining Bitcoin daily. I think they're mining daily, and we see that in their results. Is just some days seem to be better than others, and overall they're mining a lot less in November than they did in October. So I'm waiting till their operational report comes out, and let's see what they have to say as to why that is. I would copy and paste it, but where am I going to here? Oh. Okay, ready? I'll go like this. You guys should be able to see this. So can everybody see that? That's where the pool is. And again, I don't know. They try to track daily exahash. I don't know what the accuracy of that is, but the count of blocks that they've solved appears accurate to me. And it does match up. I did for 1 month check every single one. And when I went over to BTC.com, every single one that Bitcoin, or that this thing said they mined, said unknown on BTC. So that lines up to me. So I think this is accurate. Gary's saying Mara turned off. They've only mined 1 block in the last 3 days. So, you know, I don't know. Did they turn off for 3 days? Is this good luck, bad luck based on the size of their pool? I want to hear it from them. What's going on here? Oh yeah, this is. Yes, I saw this, Mike. They're buying. I think if I'm got it right, Mike Robinson's talking about. I don't know how to pronounce this. Oridine Inc. I think that's a company that makes ASIC mining chips, maybe. Am I right? And it looks like maybe Marathon's going to buy them and maybe make their own machines. Let me know if I'm on the right track, Mike. I think that's what's going on there. Oh, ha. Thank you, Barry. I'm not okay. So now it is in the chat. Thanks to Barry for letting me know what should have been obvious, which is just cut and paste it into the chat. So that's where you can go see their pool. Bitfarms is still profitable at these prices by over 2K per coin, said Jeff, and that is right. They're all in cost, including their overhead. I think was 14,300. So they're still making a profit. They're paying for all their overhead. The question for them becomes, you know, they gotta get through the rest of this debt situation. They got some debt, and it's not like the other companies that have $700 million or $1 billion, but they got some debt they gotta straighten out. Okay, so Mike's saying efficient ASICs. So yeah. So I don't even remember where I heard that or saw that, but it looks like yes, that's what they're doing. I mean, here's the weird thing to me about that is, like, not at this point, like, that would have been great 20 months ago, but now there's a glut of ASIC miners. It's like there's people don't even know how to give them away at this point. So now, if it's a better machine and it's a more efficient machine and they're able to get a competitive advantage with a better machine, that's a different story. That would be worth doing. All right, Mike. Mike said cheers, so I think that means he's out.
I think I'm out.
George is out, so let's just call it. This was our holiday. Well, last check on Bitcoin, so we stayed in the same spot all day today, and it was a pretty sideways day. So, all right, thank you everybody. Thank you, George. Thanks everybody on the stream. Thanks subscribers. And keep the comments coming, please, and all of that stuff. So, hope everybody enjoyed the holiday if you were in the U.S. Hope you had a good day anyway, no matter where you were. And everybody enjoy your weekend.
Bye.
All right. Have a good weekend.
XRP to the moon.